Hey guys, and welcome back to the Gulf Coast Growth Show. I'm your host, Jason Lee, and I'm joined by my co-host, Zeke Smith.
So, Jason?
Zeke, glad to have you today. So we are joined by Mr. Mohamed Sameh from Sesco Operations here in Houston. You guys, I think, became a member here in the last year or so?
Yeah, a couple of years.
Fantastic. So we're excited to have you here. Lots of great stuff to talk about, not only where you guys have come from, what you guys are doing, but really kind of your vision and where you're headed here in the region. And we love it when we get to have members on to share a little bit about their story, what they're doing, and what makes their company so great, and why you think this region is a great place to be for your organization as well. Because it's my understanding, and we'll learn more, but you guys seem to be a pretty broad organization covering a couple of places in the world.
Yeah, a little bit more.
A little bit more than that. All right, fantastic. So, well, why don't we do this first? Why don't we take a quick moment just to share a little bit about your story, right? You're the managing director of your organization. Tell us a little bit about how you came to your company, what you guys do, or what you do in particular, how you got here, and then start to ease us into what Sesco does and what you guys are about.
All right. So I have been with the company here for 11 years, and actually I was the first employee in the company. So came here with the owner. The owner is the second generation of the family.
Wow.
The family started the business back in 1964. They started in the beginning in stevedoring and port operation logistics company. And then they start to grow into trading different commodities and then into the manufacturing of these commodities. And then they start to expand in other countries in the world from the beginning of 2000s. So for the last 25 years, we have been expanding. We have right now locations in more than 37 countries in the world.
It's amazing.
Both in terms of terminals and direct trading and sometimes manufacturing in some other countries. Came here to America 2011, started with a very small operation to import a little bit of cement to the market. But the plan from the beginning was to grow a lot. We started by a little bit different business model than other cement companies here. So every cement company here, all the famous names, they are more vertically integrated. So they like to do the cement, they like to make also concrete plants and mix the concrete. We decided to focus on just being an importer and wholesaler of cement and other cementitious material.
Okay.
So even though we were the only company doing this, actually this gives us a big advantage over the other competitors. So for the competitors, they don't see us as a serious competitor because we're not competing with them in the main line of business, more the concrete plants. And then all the small and medium companies actually in this field, they like to buy from us more than buy from the other because we don't compete with them, right? We just sell to them. So started in a small operation in the northeast side of Houston, and that way it was Highway 90, a small warehouse. We're importing the cement in super sacks, breaking the super sacks, very small operation. Started negotiating with Port of Houston to lease a terminal. A few years after, a little bit of negotiation with the port. Then finally, in 2017, we signed the lease with Port of Houston, a long-term lease. We started to build the terminal. COVID came, delayed us a little bit, and started and commissioning of the terminal. Finally, we started the terminal in 2020. The growth was crazy. Like in the beginning, we were selling like 100,000 tons a year or something, and then the moment that our capacity increased with the new terminal and the port, we started to grow into. We had a year that we had more than 3.5x growth. We were like 150,000. We grew to almost 700,000 a year. Moving a little bit forward.
Did you say 700,000 tons?
Yes. And
gosh,
I'll have to tell you a little bit more numbers about the consumption of cement. So to understand if this number is a lot or not.
Yeah, I have no idea how much that really is.
Yeah.
It just sounds like a lot.
So let me fast forward to 2024. We imported in 2024 more than 1.365 million tons of cement. The total import of Houston is around 6 million.
Wow.
So right now we are the biggest importer of cement in Houston. Even though many people, they don't know our name that much, but in the industry we're very well known.
Right.
I think the dynamic in a family business is different than big corporates. So we have quite faster decision making. We still manage the company like a mom and pop shop. Sure, we have 50 employees, but still things are very simple in the company. So this is helping us.
A bit more nimble.
Right.
Very nimble. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So Mohamed needs to make a decision. Mohamed's like, done. We're running with it.
Yeah, and if the decision needs to go to the CEO of the company, probably a WhatsApp message, and 2 minutes after.
But it's so much easier than having to make a decision based on what the stakeholders and then shareholders and stuff are going to have to say. That's a great recipe for success. So let's pivot for a second. Talk to us. You said you made this pivot down here to the in the terminal business. What kind of led to that discussion? What led you to decide that that's where you guys needed to head?
So in the commodities business, you're more into the supply chain business more than in the product itself. So it's all about supply chain efficiency. So definitely importing the product in big volumes, in big vessels, in bulk forward, and then having a waterfront terminal. So we directly take the product from the ship to the storage, to the truck. It's very efficient versus the other ways of importing it in bags or in super sacks or anything like that. So it's mainly about efficiency. That's why we try to expand this way. And it's a long-term game. So the investment is a lot. You invest hundreds of millions of dollars in a terminal. You know that the return is not coming in a year or two.
Right.
Sure. But at the same time, you know that you can grow the volumes to the level that you can get your return on investment relatively fast. So that's why we were playing the long game more. In the beginning, it took us some time to get into the market, to understand the market dynamics here, which is a little bit different than any other country in the world. America is different. Texas is actually completely different.
Right.
And we like it that
We like it that way. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Yeah.
So one of the first things that I heard when I came here to Texas, I think the first week for me back in 2013, someone told me everything is bigger in Texas. So I use it sometimes when I talk to people about our terminal. I told them, when I heard that everything is bigger in Texas, I took it very serious. I to work on that. So right now we have the biggest import cement terminal in the world, actually.
That's amazing. Right here. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So you said your business has multiple units, throughout the world. In regards to, so what else do you guys do? I mean, give us kind of a scope as to your global presence and then the role that this organization plays amongst that global presence. I'm curious in that.
So we started in the 60s mainly as a terminal operation, importing, stevedoring company, port logistics, which is all services.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, when you handle a lot of products, you learn more about the product, about the customer, about the markets. So this is the first pillar, which is the services.
Okay.
The second pillar is the manufacturing. We start to manufacture these products that we were handling. And then the third one is the trading. So this is give us more exposures to other countries in the world. We start to not only manufacture and sell it locally, we start to export this to different countries in the world. So that's why we start to build different import terminals in different countries. So the things that we are manufacturing and we do the service for these products, we can also export to other countries. Some countries you can easily export when you're back at home. But America is different. America needs to be here to be part of the community and the culture here. So that's why the model that we have here is the one that we have maybe in 5-6 countries in the world, where we came here, we built a company, we start to get more close to the culture, the business culture and the culture itself, the community, the industry. And this is the thing that's different about America. You need to understand how things are done here, and you need to forget everything about any other country or because things here are different.
Okay, I love that.
So you mentioned founding. The company was founded where?
The
Company was founded by the family. Where was it founded?
1964 in Egypt.
Okay, so you came here. Okay, got it.
Wow.
Yeah. And you said America does things different, and again, and Texas does things even differently from there. So yeah.
So it made sense from a logistics perspective, obviously coming to America and making the decision to do that, almost a necessity in your business. Now, you probably could have chose multiple port regions. What is it about Texas, the economy down here, this particular region itself that was so attractive to why you came out this way?
So out of the 50 states in America, Texas by itself consumes almost 20% of the total consumption of cement.
Wow.
So everything really is bigger in Texas.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So roughly the total consumption of cement is 120 million tons, and roughly Texas consumes 22 million of this.
That's why roads are always being worked on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well,
the other factor is the balance between the local manufacturing and the imports. So Texas manufactures locally around 14.5 million tons only of cement.
Okay.
The rest is imported. The majority is through Houston, a little bit through Corpus Christi and Brownsville, but Houston is one of the biggest imports of cement. So it's a big market, and it has been growing. We came, I think, also in the right time. 2013 was barely the commercial and the residential industry, construction industry was barely getting back to the normal numbers after what happened 2007, 2008.
Right.
So I think we came also in the right time.
Fantastic.
Where are most of the things imported from? Where's cement coming from for the most part?
So most of it coming from our own manufacturing plants in Egypt.
Oh, really?
Some coming from Turkey, Saudi Arabia, other countries of the world.
Okay, awesome. And you said if the number you mentioned imported, how much do you think comes in and out of your terminal per year? If there's that total in and out?
Yeah, so we have growth year over year. In the last 3 years, the growth is relatively slower for us. It's around 10% growth.
That's slower.
Yeah.
For that, we have like 3x, and then we have 1.5x growth. So 10% for us is slow. We're a little bit crazy in terms of with growth. We like to grow always.
Right.
So when we feel that, okay, we are getting to the saturation level in this market, we start to think about what about another product or another more.
Okay.
That's why we have the second terminal for us is under construction in Tampa, Florida right now.
Okay.
And we're exploring 3 other locations for other states in America for other terminals as well.
Wow.
So this is the first thing. We try to expand geographically, copying almost the same model that we did here in Houston that was successful.
So you mentioned that your product has there's so much use of cement. So much
Including concrete,
and
the use of cement.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So much use of cement here in the state of Texas, but does how much of your product makes it out of Texas and across the nation?
So we have a lot of different products, different types of cement.
Okay.
So the most famous one, the most used one is the gray cement.
Okay.
And this for all the concrete work, all the infrastructure, residential, commercial. And then we have some specialty types of cement. So white cement is just prettier look. The color is different.
Right.
That's it. So the gray cement we sell only in Texas, with very, very little bit going out of Texas to Oklahoma and Arkansas and Louisiana. White cement we sell out of Houston to a lot of different states, almost 14 states.
Okay.
We sell by rail to Atlanta, to Oregon, to California.
Wow.
Yeah, even by trucks we sell to many other states. So depending on the product, our footprint is a little bit different.
Okay, that makes sense.
Is the port expansion potentially affecting your terminal at all, or only going to help things?
This would be great for us. So the Project 11 is a great thing. We're waiting for this project to finish because we're a little bit unlucky that we're at the end of the chip channel in terms of the channel depth. But we are lucky because we are the most centralized terminal inside the port in Houston. We're almost in the middle of the city. So this gives us a little bit of logistical advantage as well for outgoing product from our terminals. But for Project 11, yeah, we are waiting for it.
Great.
So you talked about expansion and what that looks like. So from what I heard, expansion for you looks like across other corners of the U.S., places that are strategic so that you can get more reach. When you build and establish that reach, is it similar to the way that you would do that here in Texas? Is it mostly statewide, regionally in that area? Or I'm just curious on how the logistics work.
It's very similar. Okay. So normally we distribute by trucks to maybe a radius of 200 miles, 300 miles.
Gotcha.
And then one of our latest addition to our terminal here, we are the only cement terminal, only bulk cement terminal in Houston that has rail terminal inside that's directly connected to the storage. So by rail, we start to expand more than that. So that's why by rail, we are sending to other states and a little bit also like to Oklahoma nearby, or Dallas or San Antonio and Austin, these places.
That's unbelievable.
I was going to ask, how did you choose this site? Who had the foresight to say, this is going to be a site that has rail connection, it's going to be right? I mean, it seems like it was quite a brilliant choice at the time, especially, right?
The brilliant thing about it is that this site has been not utilized by Port of Houston for like years and years. The dock itself was more than 100 years old and wasn't maintained.
That's amazing.
We had to almost rebuild this dock from scratch. The property itself was, I think the last use for the property was like 20 years ago or something. So I think this is the brilliant part, is that it wasn't something that is already used already. No, we invested a lot to make it ready. We had to expand the rail terminal. We had like a very small rail access. We had to expand this, which we just finished last year, actually.
That's a big undertaking in itself, right?
Yeah, which is a good thing, because when you just select something that is perfect, everyone knows that there is something perfect, and you have a lot of people that wants to get this one. We went to an area that no one wanted to get there because that doesn't have the necessary infrastructure or anything, but we build everything.
Sounds like strategic genius right there. So
Great.
yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what we. It's the
I
story.
hope they gave you a raise.
That's the stories we like to tell here, right? Is like, especially foreign founded company come to Houston, said this is a place we want to be, we want to expand, we're going to invest. I mean, that's what this organization is about, right? Is getting companies from wherever they come from to come here and invest in the industry and the community. So the foresight that you and the founders saw about, hey, we've got to get there, we got to get involved, got to get involved in the community was spot on. It's all we do at the Economic Alliance. That's all we do with this podcast. It's like, so it's the perfect story for what we're trying to tell. So congrats on the success, because
It's
great.
It's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mohamed, organizations like this and your familiarity with the region, how have you and your team used not just this organization, but the other things that are regionally and industrial in this area to familiarize yourself and make market decisions?
Yeah. So I think our focus is every year getting more to be data oriented. So we like to collect a lot of data.
Okay.
Everything that's happening in America or in Texas, any numbers, if they are leading indicators about the inventory of housing in Houston or Dallas, or it's about any acquisition that's happening, or any economic data, interest rates, inflation, we like to collect all the data, and we like to look at all the analysis of the data, and then we have our own perspective for this data.
Sure.
So the last couple of years, we're expecting that there are some options in the market that maybe people are a little bit afraid because of the non-stop talk about recession, soft landing, what will happen. Interest rates are high. Will they go down or not? What will happen in the election? So when people are worried, corporates, they have with their risk assessment, they are afraid to take decisions when there's something that's uncertain. We like these opportunities. We don't see these things as challenges. We see them as opportunities because we like to take some risks somehow. So we are expanding actually all the time, and we're expanding in times that other people are scared even to keep the people like their employment level the same. They start to lay off people, but they are worried.
Sure.
Actually, we hire people because we think that there are opportunities.
Absolutely. And you're right. The companies are disruptors. No, I love that. Like we talked so many, with so many companies and business owners in the 21, 22 years, and the companies that did that and said, yep, we're dealing with a difficult situation, but we're going to double down and make, investments or take some risks. They're flourishing now, or about to, right? All of them. So I think that's, again, I love the story. I love it.
Yeah, I think we just had Linda Villanueva on from Lee College, but I could see, and this is a plug for you, but your story and being able to tell that story in front of a bunch of people about, business savviness and how to take those risks and do it. It's inspiring me. Yeah, you need to be on more podcasts, man. Like that's for sure. Real quick, headwinds. Let's shift and think about maybe challenges or things that you might be facing, because you've been talking about it. And I guess challenges, y'all don't really see challenges. You see them as opportunities. But if there were things that made you a little nervous, or things that you're currently battling here in 2025, industry-wide, what are the things that are kind of the red flags or the things that you guys are really paying attention to?
Because we don't live in this world by ourselves. So if you're too fast, and then you need the support of other people that are a little bit slower than you, or they have a longer approval process or anything like that, there are some bureaucracy still in some organizations that we struggle with. But so at the end, we try to talk to the right people, and then we always, after some effort, we find the right person in some bureaucratic organization that we can convince them that we're trying to do something good for the economy and for the community and for the industry, and help us. Sometimes we struggle a little bit in getting utilities on time for an expansion project or something. Sometimes permitting, sometimes take more time than it should. But other than that, dealing with the private sector is easier a little bit for us.
Sure.
Sometimes when we deal with some corporates, we struggle with also a little bit slow decision making. But I think it's our problem because we're a little bit faster and we're very ambitious. So sometimes we need to face the reality, and maybe we need to slow down or be a little bit patient.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah, that's your weakness of being so nimble. Is like we can move quickly. I mean, but guess what? When those slow moving companies want you to move fast, right? We move we need you to move fast. You're like, okay, we're ready for it. You know, that's about
anytime.
In reverse, we need you maybe to speed up a little decision making here for us in a true partnership, right? So, yeah, for sure.
So, last thing as we get ready to exit. So you said you moved here in 11?
So
13. So a little bit over a decade.
yeah.
So walk me through, is it outside of Egypt, where else have you lived?
I worked in Morocco and Mexico, in Guinea.
Wow.
And,
Okay.
in a few countries in the world.
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. Is it now? So with the 12 years that you spent, tell us your just overall impression, what you've learned and gained from. You said everything's bigger in Texas. If you had to rate the city of Houston, Texas, I mean, I would encourage you to rate it high because we are Texan. I'm just kidding. But if you had to say the things that you took away from the culture, what are the big things that your takeaways about our culture here?
I think people sometimes think when you're in a commodity business like cement, they think it's all about the price, maybe. Yeah, maintain the quality and then the price. I think it's all about the relation and about the trust. They need to trust you to buy from you. It doesn't matter really if you have the best price or you have the highest quality in a product like this. What matters is that they need to like you. Mm-hmm. So that's why even in the selection of our salespeople or anyone that talks on behalf of the company, we don't like the savvy, aggressive personality. We like more the people that are nice, that they know how to build relations. But this is what matters. Really, most of our customers, they buy from us because they like us more than that they like the price and they like the quality. They like the people. So I think in Texas, it may be different in New York, maybe different in Florida, but in Texas, they really care about that they like you, they trust you. Their needs is to make sure that if they have any problem in their business and they call you, you will answer your call, you will respond, you will be supportive.
I love it.
That's it.
That's so true.
The product is the last thing.
It's a little different than the market in Marrakesh, right? Where it's
Of course.
Well, I laugh because other people don't get it, but when you're in Texas, if you're driving down the road and you see somebody you kind of do this thing here, kind of everybody kind of waves or whatever. In other country or other states, even you drive by, you say hi to somebody, and they think you're trying to mug them or trying. Here it's like, no, we're just saying hi. It's just it's kind of how we work and operate. So relationships are so critical, and that's why organizations like this are so critical, because we really are the bridge between all the different relationships. Like, for example, businesses like yours, things like Chevron, our companies like Chevron, all the way down the ship channel. There's so many different components and pieces that have to work together. And I think part of the reason this region thrives so much is the ability to have everybody working in concert and doing that, because we put relationships, we put the economy success, the regional economy success before our own. And I feel like that helps people get things done. I'm sure you've seen that happen, because you've obviously have seen how much success you guys can have in the area. And I know a big part of that's due to you guys. The big part of that's due to the economy in this region that allows for businesses such as yours to thrive when they come here, right? That's why we keep having them come. People keep coming and saying, let's build a business in Texas. So, well, Mohamed, you've been fantastic. So,
thank you.
Like I said, we still need to be on more podcasts, because I'm sure you could share some phenomenal business wisdom. Get some individuals out there. And so we do appreciate you being on the show today. Zeke, any other questions?
No, thank you again. Great story. And
thank you.
Hope to have you back again.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.
So for our audience, we would highly encourage you that you pay it forward and share this episode with somebody. Get the word out about the great things that we're doing, stories like Mohamed's that are inspirational and help you understand just how much business matters to our region and how much opportunity you can have when you come into our region and build a business here. That's the story of this show, is to help spread the good news about being here in the Port region and build your business. So we want to thank you for being an audience member. As always, you can reach out to Zeke and myself on LinkedIn, easiest place to reach us. Shoot us a note. Let us know if you want to give us feedback. If you have any recommendations for folks to come on the show, just shoot us a note. We'd love to chat with you. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week.